Welcome to You're Not Alone. The podcast brings you real stories of strength, hope, and resilience. Our guests are real people just like you who have faced losses, anxieties, and life obstacles but emerged stronger.
Today's guest, Bobbie Jo, is a radiant example of what's possible when we stop living by someone else's rules and start following the wisdom within. If you ever question who you are or felt disconnected from your truth, this conversation with Bobbie will be like coming up for air. Let's dive in. My name is Victoria Vita. I'm a mindset mentor, Reiki master, and a sound healer. I'm also the CEO and founder of Self Awesomeness and the host of this podcast. And today's guest is Bobbie Jo, is a deeply intuitive soul who has walked the path from people pleasing to living a soul-led, purpose-driven life. For years, she followed the script she thought she was supposed to follow, checking all the boxes, playing all the roles, and seeking approval until she realized she has lost her connection to her own truth. Letting go of who she was told to be and stepping fully into who she is changed everything. Her light returned, her relationships deepened, and her joy expanded. Now, Bobbie uses her gifts to help others reconnect with their truth, reclaim their power, and live with deep intention, clarity, and love. Bobbie, thank you very much for being on today's podcast. I'm very happy
Thank you.
to see you here today. Your energy is beautiful. And can you please tell us your story, how your journey brought you where you are right now?
Let's see, how can we put this in like a coconut shell? Well, as you said in the introduction, a lot of journey of being that people pleaser, um,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to, make sure everybody else is happy, wanting to get everything right, meeting all of the shoulds and the expectations, just kind of living life in that way
Mm-hmm.
affected me a lot, which can affect people obviously greatly. You lose a sense of yourself. So my journey was always looking for my purpose, which I realized was looking for myself. And being all of those things, it eventually led there was one big moment where everything shifted. So this had been a lot of my journey, a lot of different areas of my life of realizing I wasn't feeling fully fulfilled because I wasn't fully living my truest expression. I was, doing the shoulds and the expectations, listening to the voices outside of myself that would tell me, like, when I would hear something in my intuition or want to do something, being told like, "Oh, that'll never work. You can't do that."
Mm-hmm.
Listening to all of those different things. And eventually I had a moment in my life where so many things changed so quickly. Like my identity really shifted in a very fast manner. And that's where I really, really woke up to how I had been living. And I guess, like
Mm-hmm.
in that moment, I went from being like I was single, dog mom, living in the city, had my own business, my own practice that I was doing. And then I had, met my husband and I became married, living in the country. So we moved, stepmom, three beautiful bonus daughters, and going back to working for someone. So with
Mm-hmm.
all of this, so much had shifted, with the move and everything, I ended up having to close my practice and go back to doing things. Well, when I did that, I again was being that people pleaser and listening outside. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to keep the family happy, all these new things. I kind of, like my identity was shifting so fast and didn't really feel grounded. And, the different work and everything I was doing, I wasn't feeling fulfilled, right? I'm in all of these different
Yeah.
roles and didn't feel, like everything was about
Mm-hmm.
love. It looked great from the outside. And like the job that I would go to, I just felt like I lost such a big part of myself with closing my practice and everything and going through these motions. And I would come home and grab a glass of wine and cry because I knew there was something missing inside. And
Yes.
through this
Yes.
journey, as this was happening, my body started to give me signals because the body will let us know
Mm-hmm.
when we're out of alignment.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Starting to have some different problems, some different female problems that
Mm-hmm.
were coming up. And, as we do, we just kind of be like, okay, this is inconvenient. This is uncomfortable. I'm just going to ignore this and keep going through the motions that I
Keep,
have
of course.
to.
Of course, we just keep going pushing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And it eventually came to the place that I couldn't do that anymore. The body went from whispering to screaming. So it was affecting
Hmm.
everyday life. And it eventually led to the place that I needed a surgery.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I mean, it took a while, a little bit to get to that place. There was, like I said, it's a lot of the journey, but to keep it in kind of a coconut shell for everybody, I ended up needing a total hysterectomy. And
Oh,
I
I'm
took
sorry.
that healing journey as an
Hmm.
opportunity to find myself again. So all that time
Hmm.
that I laid on that couch to heal, I reconnected with myself, with my spirituality,
Hmm.
my soul, getting back to that centered place. And then I knew from that point forward, when I reconnected to that, I knew I had the option when I got off that couch to either go back to how I had been living,
Hmm.
going through the motions, all the expectations, going back to things that didn't feel unfilling to try to keep everybody
Yes.
happy, or to step off of that couch in this new aligned place and choose
Hmm.
myself and
What
to
did you choose?
that's why I'm here today. So that's all of those other things that you heard, finally becoming an author,
Yes.
a dream that I always had, coaching, helping other people, all the different
Hmm.
things that I do stemmed forward from doing that. If I didn't choose myself and I went back to the way I was, I wouldn't be here today doing
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know where I'd be or how I'd be. When I was in that job that was like sucking the soul out of me, like it just wasn't aligned, right? I didn't feel happy. And I remember sitting there thinking about, okay, am I going to come back here? And in that moment, I heard this voice inside that said, if you come back, you will die. I
Oh
mean,
my goodness.
it was so strong. And, I don't know if that would have been emotionally, spiritually, mentally, or actually
It
physically,
was a message.
exactly.
Yes.
It was a very strong message. So I knew I had this choice. And the people pleaser,
Hmm.
it was scary, right? To make that choice because I was so afraid that I was going to let everybody down. Like, this is what we want, like, this is what you should do. Again, all those expectations.
Yes.
Go and do this kind of work. Go and do this. This is what you need to do. And so it takes, that courage to choose yourself and to know.
Of course.
As I did
Yes.
that over and over, what happened is everything became better. Like all of those, my loved ones that I was afraid I'd let down or lose, our relationships became stronger and became deeper because now
Hmm.
I'm living in my aligned truth, my true self, my energy, and everybody just, I mean, you can feel that in other people. And like I said,
Yeah,
that's
and they feel it too, right? So they feel once you're changing, you vibing differently, and they are happier too. Yes.
exactly. Yes, our energy affects everyone around us. And when I was
Hmm.
that person coming home and grabbing a glass of wine and crying, that definitely affects everybody too, right? Nobody
Exactly.
unhappy. And it is the journey of finding within yourself what that takes, for you. Where is
Hmm.
your authenticity? Where is your purpose? Where is your heart? And because other people don't know, it's so easy to should and
Hmm.
expect on other people. And just
Correct.
taking that courage for yourself. Yeah.
Yes. And as you said, you were laying down on the couch healing, but you tried to reconnect with yourself.
Yeah.
I know that for a lot of people, it's so that the whole idea of reconnecting with themselves sounds very complex. What would you suggest to do, or what would your maybe recommendation would be to like maybe the first step that they can do to start that journey, hearing themselves, understanding themselves, understanding the messages. It's not like crazy voice telling you quit the job because you die. It's like, okay, no, 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 I'll continue to do what I'm doing because this is what society tells me to do.
Right.
What would you recommend?
Oh gosh, that is a great question. And for everybody, it can be something different. So I recommend what calls to you. So for me on that couch in that moment, what I did was I immersed myself in like everything I loved before that I was like neglecting. So for me, it was I'm sitting there healing,
Hmm.
and it was what I fed myself. So I watched every Wayne Dyer PBS special and listened to those spiritual messages. I read books. I connected into that place. Um, it's it's like you said, it's how can you take a moment to tune out the noise of the world
Hmm.
and tune
Yes.
back in to yourself, connecting back in with who you are, your intuition, your, divine connection, whatever that is for you. For me now,
Yes.
a lot of that is also meditation. Some people say, I can't meditate. I
Hmm.
struggle with that. You work with sound as well, being able to do anything
Yes.
like that if that calls to you. Simply just spending time in nature, getting away from everything and just reconnecting to nature, going outside, feeling the sun on your skin, just breathing in the fresh air, going by the water. I'm a big water person, right? So like how
Oh, yes.
yeah, sit by the water, just connect with that, listen to the waves, or if you're like to connect in with the earth, go barefoot, feel yourself grounding with the earth or lean up against a tree.
Mhm.
Some people it can be, your spirituality, connecting in with prayer, with meditation, with nature. It's what calls to your heart and soul. So it's a way
Hmm.
that you can tune out that outside noise to tune in to your inner voice.
Yes, and spending time, I guess, exploring what works for you, right? As you said, for different people, it's different things. And some people cannot meditate. And what I usually say, it's a quiet time with yourself. Don't think about it as meditation. Just think
Right.
about quiet time. Don't have your another podcast running on the background. Mine can run on the background. I'm just kidding. But uh, just spend some time being with yourself, right? And explore what works for you. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And like you said, your podcast is such a beautiful gift,
Oh,
because
thank
like
you.
you listening to Wayne Dyer and everything, people are listening, and when you think you're alone, and then all of a sudden
Yes.
oh my gosh, somebody else lived this journey or went through something similar, and I can connect with that. I don't feel alone. I know,
Yes.
that other people are experiencing this too, and then there's hope because they went through it and they're on the other side or anything like that. So it is
Yes.
having that connection, knowing that, and like you said,
Mhm.
it's finding what works for you, and it can take a little bit of practice, even just connecting in with your breath, feeling your breath, just be like and saying like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Whatever you
Y
can do to tune out all that noise, and like you
Yeah.
said, have your own quiet time. Definitely.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that complicated, as you said, just breathe in, breathe out, right? So
Right.
it's simple, but spending time trying to do it.
Yes.
What kept you motivated? So when you decided not to go back to the job that you had before, and how you figure out what you wanted to do and what kept you motivated?
Ah, knowing the consequences if you don't. So that seems to
Okay.
be
Hmm.
so much of my motivation now, where I remind myself that, okay,
Hmm.
now if you always have a choice. You always have a choice.
Yes.
And, it's feeling within and knowing that you have that, and where do you wanna be? Where do you want your life to go? So
Hmm.
that's for
Hmm.
every even now as wanting to step into different things and everything, it's like, okay, you have the choice to stay here in your comfort zone or your known zone and repeat the same patterns, but if you want a different outcome or a different experience, you have to make a shift. You have to
Yes.
do something differently. You have to change. So
Hmm.
that's what keeps me motivated, as well as knowing like I don't know how much time I have here and what do I want to spend my life living, sharing, experiencing. I've experienced a lot of loss in my life, of a
Hmm.
lot of family members, and including recently. And so that just is just kind of like and many where it's like you're not expecting, we a lot of people have this experience, people gone too soon, you don't expect it, and you just realize,
Yes.
hey, we don't know, it's not guaranteed. So how do I want to live my life? How do I want to touch other lives? How do I want
Hmm.
to show up in this experience? Yeah.
Yes. So I don't regret the days when I hated my job, right? Kept going there.
Yes. Yes.
I've
Yeah.
been there, I know.
Right.
And
Right.
I know that feeling. Yes. Yes.
Right. So many
It's
people.
very yeah, energy is drained out. You like there is no life and only you I feel like sometimes when you work on a job that you don't like, you just living the life to survive those, I don't know, 8 to 10, sometimes for me it was 20 hours a day, but it's not the life to live. Yes, it's
Right.
not the life to live. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Bobbie, can you tell me something? One, you stop being a people pleaser. I know that for a lot of people, they're afraid to go and just be themselves because they're afraid to lose people around them. Because if you were a people pleaser, you're good for everyone, and here you go, you start saying no. Did you notice shift in your surroundings after you realigned with yourself?
Yes, like I said, and and as you say that, it comes to me like I have a quote in one of my books that I wrote, and it speaks to this so much. It opens one of my chapters and it said, "I didn't want to lose you, so I lost myself instead." So
Oh,
that
that's oh, I have goosebumps. Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could cry. I mean, like
Yeah,
that,
yeah. Oh,
that's
mhm.
the price you pay to be a people pleaser is
Mhm.
constantly living, for other and the thing is you're really not pleasing other people because you think you are, but you're not because they
Mhm.
actually want your authenticity and sometimes we're enabling versus, like there's just
Yes.
so much depth there that we're just looking for. I think for me personally, it was, I want the love, I want the approval, I wanna feel like I'm enough, I don't wanna be rejected, and, like, all of the old stories are feeling like, I
Yes.
don't wanna do anything wrong, I wanna keep everybody happy, I wanna keep the peace, I all of those different things. So, yeah, yep, and like I said, in the shift, that was the greatest fear, and that's why I lost myself because I didn't wanna lose the people I loved. So it's like, "Okay, I'll sacrifice myself," and the biggest shift was once that shift, happened, it was just such a different relationship that was just so much better and deeper, like, that fear, like, our minds, like, have us believe so strongly, it wasn't true, and, maybe there are, relationships that then maybe they won't be there, but it's for the highest, greatest good of all because it wasn't aligned. So,
Mhm.
for me, it was just stepping into, that space and, like, when you become happier, the people around you become happier because,
Yes.
again,
It's
energy.
contagious.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, and you can feel it,
Yes.
if somebody comes into the room and you can feel that they're authentically aligned and in their joy and their happiness,
Yes.
your authenticity versus, if someone's not, and then you kinda feel like, "Well, I don't know if I can trust this person or not. Are they just saying this? Is this who they are?" So there's so many factors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we read people, like we feel people's energy, right? If they're genuinely happy, we could feel they're happy, and we are drawn to people who are truly happy.
Yes.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
Who supported you during your journey? So you just didn't wake up one day, it's like, oh, here we go. I am this me today, right?
Right, right, yeah, yeah, no, it was absolutely like you said, it was absolutely a journey. Yeah, so for anybody listening and you're like, "Oh my gosh, did she all of a sudden just have, like, the most aligned job and the happiest life?" And everyone's
Yes.
like, "You go, Bobbie Jo is here, she's real, and she's chosen herself." No, it was definitely a journey, and within that so when I first shifted, like, one of the first things that came up for me was coaching, and, that's when I stepped into the world of coaching. So I was learning to be a coach, I was being coached. That helped shift the energy because that
Mhm.
helped then I had the support of people around me, having that container
Yes.
of support helping me get back
Mhm.
to myself, helping me choose myself, helping to put the language and everything
Mhm.
to that. So different things like that along the journey definitely helped. It helped me, one thing to kind of pinpoint too, because some people might be listening and be like, oh, did she all of a sudden have like the dream career or go back into the work or anything like that? I'm in a
Yeah.
soul fucking job, but I can't leave it because of these things or whatever
Yes.
it is. One thing that really, really helped me as well going through this and going through coaching and connecting in with different things was understanding what my values were. So getting to know
Mhm.
myself again and realize what is important to me, what are the needs that I have. So one that I have really deep is expression and creative expression. Um, was just so profound for me. So that's why when I had to close my own healing practice at that time, that was my creative expression. That was where I connected. That was where my gifts were able to flow through and the way I could creatively express. When I stopped that and went to this other job, that's where I felt so disconnected because I no longer had a voice. I wasn't able to express myself. Like
Yeah.
these centers were closed, so these values weren't in alignment. On this journey, as I was getting back to me, there was another job that I took. And
Hmm.
this one was aligned with my values.
Yeah.
Was it aligned with, like my calling and what I want to do for life? No. But it was the next perfect step for me because it created
Hmm.
connection. I was able to do creative expression. It was all of these different things. So I realized as I was making that shift and that transition of stepping fully into myself that you can bring yourself wherever you go, and it's understanding what that is for you and those values, and I was able to tap into that and realize, "Hey, I can access this here, and I can use this here." So, this helped me a lot on that journey.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, because as you said, sometimes people think they have to quit their jobs and just be on their own, reconnecting with themselves. But once you realize that you are so unhappy at a place where you spend 8 to 10 hours a day, you can, what I keep telling, that you can find another job doing what you do, but it will be different energy in a company, will be different people, and you will feel differently. That would help you to continue realigning with yourself and do what you like to do, right? If you have a calling for something. That's happened to me as well because the job I had miserable job and then I switched jobs and everything unfolded for me. So, and I think finding that purpose and keep moving forward, and as you said, find something that is aligned with your values. This is what's very important in our transformational journey.
Yes, definitely. And in
Yeah.
that shift, because of reconnecting to myself, doing all of that inner work, I was able to connect back into that intuition, feeling what's
Hmm.
calling me forward versus listening to everybody else. And in that, I have to tell you, with that job, there was resistance. Nobody else could see the vision because it did not make logical sense. It it wasn't the highest paying job, and when I took it, it started out as 1 night a week. So, I
Hmm.
was why are you doing it? That's not even worth it, like, you have to do
Yeah.
something different, but I felt within, I was like, "No, there's a reason I am here," and it was aligned
Yes.
with my values. Even though it was that, I could feel that I felt great. I was connecting with people. I was able to express myself. I had freedom within it to even do my own thing. I mean, it had so much
Yeah.
of my values, and that intuition said, "No, just stay." Well, that one night went to 2, went to 4, went to the whole week, and then I became the assistant manager of the place.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was in trusting, I'm not there
Yeah.
anymore or anything, but it was a huge part of my journey. It was beautiful. It was wonderful, but that was from
Mhm.
connecting back within, choosing myself, not being the people pleaser,
Yes.
listening to that inner guidance, and then trusting and aligning with my values. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Can you please tell us about your CSEA? I love that concept. Can you please share it with our listeners?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've always been connected to the water and the sea and the ocean. For reference, I'm in Wisconsin. I grew up in Wisconsin and I didn't actually see the ocean until, oh gosh, I can't remember if I was 8 or what age I was, but I was always just so connected to it and the water, and it
Mhm.
always called to me. Seashells were my treasures, all of these different things. So as I lost myself, as you know, and the people pleaser different things. Whenever I would step into myself, my authenticity came through me as the sea. So when I would do healing work, all of a sudden the sea would come in. So the work I do now, it brings that in. And how it evolved is when I say sea and when I do my experiences or connect with people, I say it's about finding your sea, guiding you to your sea, and sea, as well as me working with the water and the ocean, is also representative of your soul energy alignment. So it's about coming
So
back home
beautiful.
to yourself. Yeah.
I love this concept, and your whole website is about sea, and water, and it's fluid, and it's changing, and it's powerful. It is amazing.
Thank
Did
you.
you have any moments throughout your journey when you wanted to give up?
So many moments. I can tell you that my life, yes, right? It's hard. It's hard.
Mhm.
I am a super sensitive soul. One thing that I realize is I don't believe we're born into searching for our purpose or being people pleasers or anything. We're highly connected. When I was a child, I was highly intuitive, highly connected, and I also saw the world very differently. So many things didn't make sense to me from that place where I'm like, things don't add up. People say this, but then this is
Mhm.
going on, or it just didn't make sense. So as that sensitive being, it was a difficult journey. It was.
Mhm.
I remember
Mhm.
as a kid crying and feeling so frustrated about so many things and saying, "I wanna go home." And everyone being like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You are home." And I was like, "No, I wanna go home." So I feel like
Oh
in
my
that
goodness.
soul, knowing like, "Holy shit, what did I sign up for here?" Like, this
Why? Why am I here?
yeah, like, this is not easy, like, I wanna go back home, like, what is this shit show here? Like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
So, yes, there are many times, throughout that flow where it would be hard in so many different areas.
Mhm.
Different relationship struggles throughout life, different career struggles throughout, it shows up in every aspect of our life where this is definitely a big growing and expanding journey, which can be beautiful and it can be messy and it can be all of the things. And
Mhm.
that's where like this, your podcast, everything, having people realize you're not alone. There's so many people that get to that point where it's just like, oh my gosh, I keep hitting a wall. I keep hitting all of this resistance. Why am I
Yes.
even trying?
Mhm.
Want to throw
Mhm.
in the towel on your dreams or whatever it is. And having that connection and that understanding and that knowing of like, okay, this too
Yeah.
shall pass, right? Keep
Yes. Yes.
listening, keep going, keep swimming forward. Yeah.
Thank you. That's amazing. That's amazing and beautifully said. You also mentioned that you always wanted to write a book, and
Yeah.
you wrote a few books, right? So it's
Yeah.
not just one.
Yes. Yes.
How was that journey for you?
Oh, that was a beautiful journey. Writing has
Mm-hmm.
been my creative expression ever since I was a child. So ever since I was little, it was what it just came easy. It just flowed. It was the way I expressed. So even that little girl that saw the world so differently, I was already writing poems and writing stories and
Oh,
trying to make
wow.
make sense of the world. And
Mm-hmm.
what's fascinating is even back then, I wrote a poem called Lost Dreams. And what it
Oh,
spoke about
wow.
was how people have, like what I was reflecting on, that people have these dreams, but then they give them up to live somebody else's
Yeah.
dream. So cue the people
Mm-hmm.
please, right? That was foreshadowing what
Yes.
would come from
Yeah.
my life. And that you eventually come to this place in your life that you no longer know whose dream you're living.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your dream
Mm.
or is it somebody else's?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
for me, writing is like the truest form where I can express my feelings and all of those different things. And so writing the first book, my first book is I Just Want to Be Me, but I don't know who that
Mhm.
is anymore. From people pleaser to personal truth, finding your voice under all the noise. So that first book is actually sharing that journey, sharing
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that I
this.
went through where I thought, where it's like, okay, how do we lose ourselves? So it takes the
Yes.
audience, the readers on this journey where I share personal stories throughout my life and then reflecting questions for them as well to dive into their own journey and start to make that connection back to themselves to kind of put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what we're all looking for, to find ourselves, true selves. Yeah. I had
Yes.
like goosebumps, so I could feel like it's all. Yes. So, guys, you can connect with Bobbie and get that amazing book. So, if you're looking to reconnect your soul, mind, and body and find your true self, Bobbie, what was if you look back, what do you feel you've learned from this experience?
So many different things, you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
truly that I believe that we're here to be who we are, and it's and just having that journey, you know, another thing that I say is life should be a beach, not a bitch.
Yes.
And and that's so truly it is making that shift because, you know, when you're at the beach, you see people there by the water at the beach, you release the layers of the clothes, but also the shoulds, the expectations, the masks, all of these different things, and you exhale and you laugh more and you feel more connected and alive and free. And so it's about
Yes.
knowing that that is within you all of the time and being able to tap into that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is amazing. Now it's time to go to the beach.
Yes. Go to the beach and find your sea.
Yes. I need
Absolutely.
to plan my beach vacation now.
Right? But remember, it's all right here too. It's all within you.
Yes, yeah.
Sea is within you.
It's all
See
within us.
within. Mhm.
Yes, yeah, it's all within us. And if you know how to tune into that yourself, it's amazing. You can do it from anywhere. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your journey is amazing, and I can resonate so much from being a people pleaser and just be myself and see how life can unfold and transform. And for you, it had such a great positive outcome because your relationship got better. You found your purpose and you had a job which you succeeded in, and at the same time, you kept moving forward. You achieved your dream by writing book and not the only one book. You wrote several books. And now you're helping people to actually find themselves, which I think our current society is calling for our authenticity and our true self. Can you share your final encouragement message, your legacy message with the listeners?
It's interesting because I just want to cry. Because I just to let you know that you are enough. To breathe that in, to believe that, to know that you are enough, that it's not about something outside of you. It's not about something you're missing. It's just about coming home to yourself and breathing that in and knowing you have all you need right now within you. And just who you are, where you are right now, who you are is enough, and that the world needs who you are.
Mm,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. This is amazing. And I have tears in my eyes. So thank you, Bobbie, very much for such an inspiring time together. And guys, if you feel overwhelmed with constant challenges and pressure, download my 3 favorite techniques below this episode that they will help you to feel calm and stay grounded in the present moment. And also, you will be able to find all information about Bobbie below this episode. Make sure you follow her and get her book. Thank you, Bobbie, very much for this amazing experience and for your encouraging and motivating story. I'm wishing you the best of luck. And please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another powerful story. And remember, no matter how tough things get, you are not alone.